How you guys doing? So in this video, I'm going to talk about champion with synergy buffs. Should they get a buff is the question. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about the champions, which champion that has a synergy buff. In another video, um I'm going to talk about individual champions what they have synergy buffs, and I'm breaking down in more detail. And this video is mostly going to be about the champions that got synergy buffs. Should they get a buff? So let's talk about the most recent synergy buff, which is pretty sick, right? Pretty how to say it, but pretty crazy buff. It's Hela. So Hela has a really powerful buff with Odin. Synergy buff, I mean, with Odin. So should she get a buff after um a really powerful synergy with Odin? So let's talk about that. Synergy with Odin. So here Hela has the synergy with Odin that is really powerful. Well, he has two of them. One, he gains 5% duration for each fight the team has won, so that means it'll be easier to hold on to your Furies. The more fights that you get, the more fights that you win. But this one is even more powerful synergy where Hela, while charging her heavy attack, Hela gains twice as many Fury buffs. She already hits pretty hard without this synergy, but with this synergy, it pretty much takes Hela to a new level. So let's go back to Hela. I have a 6-star Hela, but my 4-star is the one that's awakened, so we're gonna talk about her. So Hela is very powerful with that synergy. So if there's any champion that got a synergy buff, it's definitely not Hela. I think Hela would break the game if she gets the buff. There's no question about that. Um, so they might even remove that synergy with Odin where she gains twice as many Furies when she gains a buff. And I really don't mind if they remove it as long as she gets a buff as Hela. But she also has that synergy where you increase duration for buff duration with her every time she wins a fight by 5%. I think that's a really strong synergy for Hela in some cases, not many, but I think you need to win at least 20 fights to have to actually make it useful. And incursion 20 wins is not that difficult. So once you get to 40 wins, that's 200% duration on her buffs. Partnered with that with buff cornucopia, she's gonna hit like a truck. No question. That's even without the Odin doubling her fury. You know, every time she hold heavy. I mean, if you do, and pretty much if you do that stays that buff with Odin, the holding her heavy doubles her fury. You're looking at 40 wins in incursion with 200 percent duration, and you got buff cornucopia. She's gonna be nuts. She's gonna be pretty nuts. I gotta tell you, if they keep that buff with her. And I'm not gonna have a 5-star, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It would be nice, but I'm not. So let's just talk about the other. So I don't think if I'd rather have Hela to to for her to get a buff and remove that double the fury every time she holds heavy. Personally, that would be me. But if they don't, that's definitely would be nice if they keep that double the fury. But I'm gonna tell you, she's gonna hit like a truck. I mean, she's already breaking records. Imagine in super long fights like incursion, how insane she would be. and she has this utility where she can, has instructable buff. Once she, like, pretty much before she's knocked out for 5 seconds, and this is a 4 star. It's a 5 or 6 star. It's 7 seconds, so she can hold on for a while when it comes to long fights. Pretty well, in my opinion. you know and incursion, if you're about to get knocked out, you can just time out and then you'll be back to where you had. So Hela could be really, she's kind of like gonna be like Corvus Clay, but a little bit, um more like, that hits harder. I think Hela is gonna be like Corvus Clay, just hits probably, I could even say twice as hard as Corvus Clave. Imagine incursion, Corvus Clave hitting twice as hard. She's very like that, pretty much. Uh, and she also, the fact that she has a turning buff cornucopia, she can increase her buff. I mean, duration. Ella's gonna be a beast in it, buff cornucopia. So this video is mostly gonna be talk about Hela, but I want to talk about other champions and I'll break it down in the future. Which champions I think they got a synergy buff? Should they get a buff? Well, once there is Cable. Cable is just a beast with the Apocalypse synergy. I mean, especially being a horseman, the guy is a beast. So should he get a buff? What do you guys think? So let's just move on. I'll do another video about Cable. If they do buff him, what kind of buff he should get. But right now, let's just talk about, should Cable get a buff? Another champion that got a synergy buff is who I just got actually pretty recently when it comes to the champion that he got with. So I had this guy a while, Iron Patriot, but he has this really, really awesome synergy with Red Goblin. So Red Goblin, so should he get a buff? So you have Red Goblin, Cable, obviously Hela, but obviously Hela's obviously never gonna. It's pretty much no chance that Hela's gonna get a buff, and I don't think she should, because she'll be too OP in my opinion. But I do kind of wish that if they do remove the temp double her Fury holding heavy, that they do give her a buff in the future. I think she's gonna be really, really good if they do buff her without the double the Fury. It's gonna be probably one of my favorite champs to play. Probably this one. What about Unstoppable Colossus? Should he get a buff? And what kind of buff should he get? He has a very powerful synergy with, which unfortunately I don't have, which I've been trying to get for the longest time, is Red Guardian as a 5 star. So as a 5 star is a very powerful synergy. So should Unstoppable Colossus get a buff? What about Storm, another champion that is very powerful? He has a very powerful synergy with Apocalypse. I don't have a 5 star Apocalypse. I'm still waiting for him, trying to get him in the crystals, but still no shot, no luck. So he has a synergy with Apocalypse. So should he get a buff? Or Storm get a buff? I mean, not Apocalypse, because Storm has a very powerful synergy. So should Storm get a buff? So we have Hela. We talked about Hela mostly today, and I want to talk about other champions in the future. But right now, I'm just talking about champions that like champions that should they get a buff? You got Hela. You got obviously Cable. You got Iron Patriot, Unstoppable Colossus, and Storm. They all have synergy buffs that make them really, really good. Should they get a buff? And if they do get a buff, what kind of buff? So another video, I'm going to talk about each champion more thoroughly. Today I was talking mostly about Hela. And I don't think she should get a buff. She'll be broken unless they remove the 10% Fury buff. And I don't really mind as long as they buff her. I mean, yeah, the not 10%, the double her Fury buff. I think I would rather have her get a buff than that. I think she'll be really fun to play with if they didn't have that and get her a buff. That's my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys.